Please be seated.
All right. You ready with the next witness?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, you bring him in. Okay. Case went out.
I'll do the prison, Your Honor.
All righty. Your next witness.
State is called Anthony.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you shall give the court and the jury in the trial of this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Please state your first and last name and spell your last name out of the legal line.
Anthony Emmel, I-M-E-L.
I believe you go by Tony, is that correct?
I do, sir.
Mr. Emmel, could you please tell our jury where you're employed?
I'm employed at the Federal Bureau of Investigations at the Forensic Audio, Video, and Image Analysis Unit in Quantico, Virginia.
And what does the Forensic Audio, Video, and Image Analysis Unit in Quantico, Virginia do?
Well, on average, we process approximately 700 forensic exams requested worldwide through federal, state, and international organizations. We do video enhancement, which is the enhancement of video for the purpose of criminal and terrorist cases and investigations. I do image enhancement, much like so height determinations, facial comparisons, comparisons of any known capacity that would be a known to a question, image extraction from videos, image stabilization, as well as authenticity of video and imagery to ensure that it is true and in fact correct video.
Okay, and your title with the FBI is what?
Is a photographic technologist.
And forensic examiner, correct?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell the jury what your educational background is?
So I have a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice, and I also have 2 associate's degrees, one in Criminal Justice and another one in Electronic Technologies.
And could you tell the jury when you started with the FBI in this case?
I started in August of 2010. I've been with them for now about 6 years.
And what was your prior employment experience prior to going with the FBI in 2010?
So I was with the State Department for 2 years. I ran their video and image forensics laboratory. Prior to that, I was 20 years with the United States Air Force. From 1996 to 2008, I was a federal agent with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, and I also ran their video forensics field program.
And what did you do specifically when you were working with the Secretary of State?
Two positions, actually. I started out with as the superintendent, or excuse me, the supervisor of the video forensics lab, and for several months as a transition, I worked for the Technical Surveillance Countermeasures Office, basically finding electronic devices in secure areas.
And what did you do during your tenure with the United States Air Force between '88 and 2006?
From when I enlisted, I worked in security systems for nuclear devices, basically the weaponry that we have for nuclear weapons. And let's see here, about 4 years later, I was recruited into the Air Force Office of Special Investigations as a federal agent, active duty federal agent, that is.
Okay. And you basically have been doing video forensic examination since you've been with the U.S. Air Force, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what certifications do you hold in your areas of expertise?
I am certified as a video and image examiner with the FBI. I am a technical investigator with the National Technical Investigators Association. I also hold a certification with the FBI for computer forensics.
Okay. And where have you received your professional training regarding forensic video examination and video and image analysis?
So the initial training with the FBI was a 2-year training program in which I attended multiple classes inside and outside of the FBI for different examination requirements, both for software, for the techniques and capabilities. I have done a multitude of tours across the United States in areas such as the Adobe Complex in California, Industrial Light and Magic, which is Lucasfilms, how they make up those really fancy videos. I've gone to the finishing houses up in New York to see how they manipulate imagery for the different magazines that we enjoy, as well as several briefings and training organizations that I actually attend and teach.
And do you have any teaching or instructional responsibilities in the field of video examination and video and image analysis?
I have taught in several locations, so the National Technical Investigators Association. I've taught in video forensics and image comparison courses in their international classes and conferences. I have taught for the State Department for the Anti-Terrorism Assistant Program overseas, and I also taught for LEVA, which is the Law Enforcement and Emergency Services Association for reverse projection. That would be reverse projection. So that's height determinations off of videos.
And have you previously been qualified as an expert witness in the fields of forensic video and image examination and analysis and photographic technology?
Multiple times, yes, sir.
And in what courts?
Los Angeles, Denver, Boston, let's see here, North Carolina would be, was that Charleston? Not Charleston, Charlotte. Jacksonville, New Haven, the list continues.
Both federal and state court?
Mostly state court. Boston was federal.
Your Honor, at this time we would offer Mr. Emmel as an expert in the fields of forensic image and video examination, video and image analysis, and photographic technology.
Says the defense.
What specifically field is he testifying in this case?
Did you restate the field he's...
His fields of expertise are forensic image and video examination, video and image analysis, and photographic technology.
Depending on what he's going to testify in this case, we have an objection.
Pardon?
Well, it depends on what field he's testifying.
All right, well, he's, the witness is admitted as an expert in the fields so stated by the solicitor.
Thank you, Your Honor. With regard to this particular case, did you have the occasion to come into possession of an image file which contained 2 MP4 video files on April the 16th of 2015?
I actually came into those files on April 17th, but yes, I did, sir.
Okay, and how did you come into possession of that image file?
So I was requested to do a forensic examination on 2 video files from a special agent, let's see here, Brian Womble, the Charleston resident agency. Those video files were transferred through a secured network from the Columbia field office to my office.
And that forensic secured network is called what?
It's actually called several names. We call it the operational network systems, forensic system.
Okay. And for what purpose were these video files transmitted to you?
The purpose was for me to enhance the video. Specifically, after talking with the case agent, I was asked to pay particular attention to the location and the position of the taser during the altercation between Mr. Slager and Mr. Scott.
Okay. And who did the audio enhancement?
That would be forensic examiner Scott Rame. It is part and parcel of the audio forensic section of my office.
And you handled primarily the video enhancement, is that
I did,
correct?
sir, yes.
What's enhancement?
Enhancement is, a basic definition of enhancement is me clarifying the detail of a video.
And how does that differ from manipulation?
So manipulation would be me changing the content of that video, removing content, removing individuals, any items within that video.
And what was the subject matter contained in the 2 video files you received via upload?
So the first video file was a confrontation between Mr. Scott and Mr. Slager, at which point there was a shooting involved in that video. The second video was a depiction of officers readying first aid to Mr. Scott.
And how did you go about enhancing the videos in this case?
The enhancement of the videos were electronically processed in a software program called Adobe Premiere and Video Focus Pro. Video Focus Pro, I imported the video into that program and selected a stream of images to export. Adobe Premiere, I also imported the video into that. Basically attempted to stabilize, slow down, and resize that video to where an individual could clarify or see what was going on in a very basic manner, so you can understand the detail what was going on between the confrontation.
And when we spoke previously, you indicated that the first thing that you do when these types of videos come in is hash them. What does that mean?
So a hash is a 128-bit algorithm that is applied to the video or applied to any file, electronic file, and it basically gives it a fingerprint of that file. So throughout the investigation, you can always go back and see if that imagery or that file has changed.
Okay, so you could determine, based upon the hash value when the file came in, any changes made to that file would alter the hash value, is that correct?
It is. So it is a data verification. However, be aware that video forensics does change that file content. So anything that I produce, anything that I do to that file will change that hash file. Or hash
Okay,
number.
but you're not actually changing the original videos, you're changing copies of the original videos.
Correct.
And what do you use this, I believe you mentioned Adobe Premiere and Adobe Photoshop, and what do you use this software to do?
So for Adobe Premiere is a nonlinear editor, which allows me to place that video onto a video timeline. It allows me to go down to the frame level and make adjustments or enhancements to that video to, I would say, critically view the video in a forensic manner. So I can play that video frame by frame. I can resize that video into any area within that video that I need to, stabilize it, slow it down, enhance it, brighten it, darken it, allowing me to use that video in critical viewing for the state, for the court, for the investigation, and for the jury.
Okay, and what did you create using the enhancement software in this case?
So in this case, I produced 6 different videos from the initial 3-minute video and the 44-second video, basically breaking apart those 2 videos into a forensic manner so we can critically view what was going on during that altercation.
Okay, and I believe you also created some still images, is that correct?
I did create a series of still images from those 2 videos.
And also, I believe you created some contact sheets, is that correct?
I did. So contact sheets are basically a layout of those individual images.
And what did you do with the enhanced videos and enhanced images and contact sheets you prepared in this case?
I recorded them to a DVD, hashed that DVD, made copies of that DVD, labeled it Exam Results 1, and then shipped it to the local FBI office, which I believe was transferred to your possession.
Okay. I hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 12 for identification, and ask if you can recognize that. Yes, sir.
So this is one of the copies that I produced. It has my initials, has my date, my case number, my lab, and my lab number on here, and a description.
Okay. And I believe you created 3 different DVDs, and that's the first of 3. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Because of the amount of information that I produced, I had to produce those on several different DVDs.
And do you recall what's on this particular disc, the first one?
I believe those are the videos.
Okay. Both enhanced and unenhanced?
I believe so. I think I did put the 2 original videos on there as well.
Okay. And do the enhanced videos that are contained on disc number 12, and a true and exact copy of the work you did in this case?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we would offer status 12 at this point. Unless there's objection.
So, it's admitted without objection.
Mr. Emmel, I'd like to direct your attention to the monitors.
Yes, sir.
You can see one. And just so the jury will be aware of your file structure in case they would like to use State's Exhibit 12 in the future, you have 2 different folders, is that correct?
I do, sir.
And that contains what?
The top folder, labeled Enhanced Videos, contains the enhanced work that I did on the original 2 videos. The lower folder, labeled Original Videos, contains the 2 MP4 video files I retrieved from I received across the network.
Okay. And then in your enhanced video, you have 6 different files, it appears like. Could you explain to the jury what those are?
So the full enhanced video is basically a breakdown of those 2 videos. It gives some of the enhancements. I've integrated images into the video because the stabilization format of the original video is bad. You see a lot of motion blurring. You see a lot of out of focus video. The video itself goes out of frame quite a bit. So I've selected images in between those cuts of video to show you what that content or what the clearest content is that was captured during this video. The other 5 remaining videos are critical viewing portions of the 2 videos, labeled as such: pre-shooting on the ground, taser drop by body, taser drop prior to shooting, taser holstered, and taser picked up after shooting. So those labels indicate what was played on and what was enhanced during that portion of the video.
Okay, I would like to start with pre-shooting on the ground. Were these designed in what format?
These are designed in MOV format, so using QuickTime we're able to actually slow this video down and play it frame by frame if you so request.
Now, I don't object to enhanced video at all. I feel single shots, I don't object. My understanding is it's an enhanced video, we have no objection to that. If it's video, either normal speed or by a single frame.
Your Honor, I believe you'd already ruled on that. You stated that we use slow motion.
The objection is overruled.
So these are designed to be played on a QuickTime player, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is pre-shooting on the ground. I'd like to ask you a few questions about that first video, if I could. That obviously was at what speed?
I believe that's at 15%.
Okay. And in reality, obviously, that occurred much faster than it looked.
A lot faster, yes, sir.
What is, and do you know, it is also, I believe it occurred at the very beginning of this video. Do you know how long it lasted in real time?
Well, the entire video itself is 3 minutes and I think 4 seconds. Excuse me, 3 minutes and 2 seconds. I think from the start of this portion to the end of the actual shooting is about 19 seconds long.
Okay. And the beginning of the shooting is about 12 seconds, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this occurred prior to that,
Yes, sir.
and half of that you can't see on the video at all.
Correct.
So we're talking about 5 or 6 seconds.
We are talking an extreme short amount of time, yes.
Now, what is the frame rate of the camera involved in this case, if you know?
Typical frame rate of a cell phone camera is 30 frames a second.
And you later examined the actual cell phone involved in this case, is that correct?
I did. I had the opportunity to receive the cell phone itself and extract the original video from the cell phone again.
Okay, and that camera records at a rate of 30 frames per second?
Technically 29.9 or 29.7, but yes, 30 frames a second.
And it appears that even with enhancement that's not very clear, is that correct?
You lead the witness.
Why is that, why is your enhancement of that portion of the video not clear?
So it was recorded unclear. There's a lot of motion blur. There's a lot of, so when a camera has come upon something to be recording, it usually focuses in on its closest item. As we can tell that there's a fence between the individual who was shooting the video and the action that was actually trying to be recorded. That cell phone kept focusing in and out towards the cell phone, towards the ground, back up to a tree, and then again back out into the middle of the field. The action was going way too quickly for the processor in that phone to actually record it.
And what is motion blur?
Motion blur is what you see is The imagery is basically pushed across out of what it normally is. You can see my face here and then blurred across the frame.
At this point, I would like to direct your attention to another portion or segment of your enhanced videos, captions taser drop prior to shoot. Next would be taser picked up after shooting. Lastly, a taser dropped by body. Also, as part of your work in this case, did you create image sets?
I did, sir.
What is an image set?
So I was requested to identify, or at least attempt to identify, items in Mr. Scott's left hand as he pulled away from Mr. Slager. To do that, I exported a series of, I believe, eight images.
Before we get to that, we're going to get to that in a little bit, but did you do image sets for the location of the taser right before the shoot?
I did, sir.
Mr. Emil, I'll hand you what's previously been marked as State's Exhibits 183 through 194. Ask if you recognize that as one of your image sets. Your Honor, we would also offer those, I believe, without objection.
Any objection? They are admitted without objection.
These are a series of images that I produced during the confrontation between Mr. Scott and Mr. Slager, identifying the location of the taser behind the two individuals.
Okay. Let's start with states 183. Four. What is that little oblong circle at 185?
So that is a highlight that I placed in the image. That is the first image that I could clearly see the position of the taser.
6, 187, 188, 189, 190, 191 rather, 192, 193, and 194. Now, did you also create an image set regarding Officer Slager dropping an object by the body?
I did.
I hand you what's been marked as States Exhibits 195 through 202. I would offer these, I believe, without objection.
They are admitted without objection.
Yes, sir. This is the image set that I produced of an object being dropped next to Mr. Scott by Mr. Slager.
Okay, are those necessarily consecutive frames?
No, sir.
And why not?
I selected the frames that were best in focus and allowed me to view what was going on during that time period.
So this would be States 195. States 196. States 197. 198. 199, 200, 201, 202. Question there? I was just thought you Moving on to September the 25th of 2015. You did the original enhancement back in
I did, yes, sir.
Is that correct?
I did.
What were you asked to do, or what did you receive in reference to this case, and what were you asked to do?
So I was asked to authenticate the 2 videos that were provided for me back in April. To do that, I requested the actual cell phone in which recorded these videos.
Okay, and I hand you what's previously designated as State's Exhibit Number 10 in evidence, and ask if you recognize that cell phone.
Yes, sir. This is the Verizon cell phone that I received back at that date.
And how do you know that, sir?
My case number, my lab number, my initials are all printed on the back of the actual cell phone.
And you said that phone was sent to you for what purpose?
To authenticate the videos that were recorded on it.
And what do you mean by authenticate the video?
So authentication is derived as far as me ensuring that the videos were not manipulated in any sense, and they were actually recorded with this cell phone.
And how do you, as a forensic examiner, forensic video examiner, go about authenticating?
So there's several different ways that I accomplish this. First and foremost is look at the cell phone video itself and see if there's anything within the video that would indicate that something has been changed. We call that the uncanny valley test. If an individual is jumping over a huge building or picks up a car and throws it, something to that effect would automatically indicate that there is something strange with the video. At this point, I looked at the video very critically, and I did not see anything, any problems in that arena. I also looked at the metadata and the EXIF data and found that the time and all the information of the recorded video was actually embedded into the video itself. I happen to have a Verizon cell phone that's pretty much identical to this one for my government phone. I took test media and exported that out from my own phone itself, and the metadata and the EXIF data from the exported video or the exported media that I have and the one on that phone was identical to the point where the information that was gained was there. And then I ran what they call reference videos through the video or through the cell phone. I recorded several videos, put them through a program called Find Camera, and what we do is we compare the photo response non-uniformity between the video that was actually recorded and reference video that I recorded on this phone. Now, the PRNU, which is the photo response non-uniformity, is basically identifying the unique characteristics of the CCD chip within that cell phone, whether it be pixel size, whether it be dead pixels. There is a unique signature, much like a fingerprint or a hash value, to each an individual cell phone or camera that everybody carries. Using this program, we were able to extract the unique signature from the cell phone and identify it and compare it to those 2 videos. The longer video, being the 3-minute video, came up as a positive as far as this cell phone recording that video. The shorter video, due to only having 44 seconds, I was not able to exactly produce a positive result with the Find Camera software. However, everything else, as far as the metadata and the EXIF data, came up positive.
So the cell phone you examined still had the videos on them, is that correct?
It did. And I also compared the hash values of the cell phone videos that I extracted from that cell phone to the original ones that I received originally back in April, and they were identical.
Okay. With regard to the longer video, the 3-minute and 2-second video, what was your opinion regarding its authenticity?
I actually have that right here in my report. Would you like it verbatim or the quick response?
Just as indicated in your report.
The video titled 201-504-04 underscores, sorry, 201-504-04 underscore 093738.mp4.
That would be the longer video.
The longer video, yes. Recovered from the Q1 Samsung cell phone, appears to be authentic. No indications of manipulation or alterations were identified within the video content or metadata review and comparison. The 201-504-04_093738.mp4 video was compared to the cell phone PRNU signature, which indicated that the video was produced from the Q1 Samsung cell phone.
Okay. And now with regard to the second shorter video ending in 094218.
The video titled 201-504-04_094218.mp4 recovered from the Q1 Samsung cell phone appears to be authentic. No indication of manipulation or alterations were identified within the video content or metadata review in comparison. The 201504-094218.mp4 video was compared to the cell phone's PRNU signature, which was determined to be inconclusive. The recording length of the questioned video, 44 seconds, was not sufficient length to allow for a characterization. Therefore, the 201-504-04_094218.mp4 video cannot be verified as being recorded with the Q1 Samsung phone.
But you have no reason to believe that it was not.
I do not.
Now, as part of your examination, were you able to determine whether the video files contained on that actual phone, State's Exhibit number 10, were identical to the video files you examined back in April of 2016?
They were. So I extracted those videos that were on the phone, basically did an MP5 hash of those videos, and they were identical to the original ones that I received in April.
Now, moving ahead to October 12th of this year, I believe you received an email from Solicitor Wilson concerning an object which appeared to be in Mr. Scott's hands right prior to the shoot. Is that
I did,
correct?
yes.
What did you do based upon receiving that email?
So I was asked to identify or at least enhance Mr. Scott's left hand as he was exiting the altercation between Mr. Scott and Mr. Slager. I produced or exported 8 images and put them into a sequential order and then resized those images of his left hand to attempt to identify what was in his left hand.
My hand was previously been marked as case exhibit number 203 and asked if you recognize that as the image that you prepared.
It is, sir.
That you just testified to.
It is.
And, Your Honor, at this time, we would offer States 203, I believe, without objection.
Submitted.
Your Honor, permission to publish 203 to the jury. Mr. Emil, this would be State's Exhibit 203, is that correct?
It is.
And what are the little inserts here?
So those are resized portions of Mr. Scott's left hand. From the upper left-hand corner, as labeled, you can see the frame number that I extracted from the original video. That extends all the way down further as time progressed.
Of all the stuff that you did in this case, Mr. Emmel, what, if any, of it required you to actually offer an expert opinion?
Only the authentication, sir.
How about the enhancement of the video?
That is strict. I did this, I did that. There is no opinionated testimony involved in that portion of my examination.
Could you please answer any questions, Mr. Savage?
It'd be my pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Can I have 3 minutes for a non-personal?
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we have you go to the jury room for a few minutes. Please be seated. All right, if you bring the jury. Mr. Savage, do you have an anticipated length of cross-examination for this witness?
5:30.
About 30? Okay.
I always say that, and it's 6:30.
The jury says they're tired, so
Mr. Grant, I second the motion.
all right.
We have no objection.
I'm here at the pleasure of the court. I can be here whenever you want.
So,
That's fine, Your Honor, if you want to break. One question I have, though, I do think we'll finish up maybe around lunchtime tomorrow. And we'll need to know about defense experts to know which of our experts to have here for their testimony.
all right,
So, if Mr. Emmel is somebody who's
they can come here.
relative to one of their experts tomorrow, we just kind of need a little bit of a game plan on it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we were trying to make it to 5 o'clock. It's 4:57, so we'll just break 3 minutes early today. I understand you all, it's been a long day. Appreciate your cooperation. So we're going to break until 9 tomorrow morning. Please remember that you're not to discuss the case, allow anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence, or to view any type of social or traditional media, or be exposed to anything other than what you receive here in the courtroom. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning at what time? 9 o'clock. Very good. All right, if everyone will be seated for a moment. And you can step down if you like. You cannot discuss your testimony. You'll be cross-examined tomorrow morning. So
Yes, sir.
step down. I'll just talk with the folks who are here. About planning, you said the state has one more witness. You think it'll take a few hours?
Yes, sir.
And what?
And we'll rest.
Then we'll have defense motions, and you'll be ready to go, say, tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, sir, if that's necessary.
All right, you'll be ready if it's necessary, yes, sir. And the state would like some indication,
Which experts were testifying when, so that if I have to fly anybody down or keep anyone in a hotel, just need to know.
Hey, Mr. I'm over the state.
Judge, I'll coordinate with the solicitor on this, but I think that Mr. Emmel, if he stays, it would be prudent, and I'll let her
He
know.
stays for a week?
No, I think we'll, depending on the pace,
We'll take it out of order for council.
yes, we're taking 2 witnesses out of order to try to make that work, so.
Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be back at 9 tomorrow morning. Have a good evening.